Nothing really happened in real estate this past month, so we don't want to talk about it. So instead, we're going to talk about strategy and how obviously navigating the market today in 2026 needs just that, strategy and the right professional by your side so that you know how you're navigating the market with success, because there's still lots of great opportunities out there.
So we are finally into March. We are all patiently waiting for spring and the market to pick up. And the biggest question is the market changing or is it slowing down?
And I think that's a good question, and one that is pretty hard to answer today, as we're only a few months into the year and we really don't know what's going to happen in the next coming months. March is typically the turning point for our market when we see some increased sales, but February was not an example of that. February sales were down from last year. We had about 237 residential sales for the month of February. So nothing very exciting about that. However, we did still see some parts of our market that were busier. I think that is the conversation we want to focus on today.
So surprisingly enough, in the last 30 days, out of the 237 sales, over 100 of those were sold over the asking price.
This is a little atypical for our real estate market, especially in the winter months, that we're seeing over asking or even multiple offers. But that comes back to that strategy that we talked about, which is agents are essentially listing the property under what the value of the home is worth, which requires a lot of trust and a lot of skill from that listing agent, and hoping that they get competing offers and lots of buyers interested to take advantage of the buyer's market as much as humanly possible, which can go one of two ways. It can go in the direction of getting the house value out of it, or it can entirely backfire. It's really an interesting thing to see, that many, over 100 sales that have listed and been sold over asking.
It's important to trust your real estate agent. It's important to work with somebody that you trust and that they understand, they know what they're doing. But at the end of the day, it's also important that you know as a seller that you're always in control. So if for some reason you do try that strategy and it doesn't work, you don't have to accept any offer.
Anything under 550 is still actively moving, and that has a lot to do with those agents that are listing under value, hoping for the value that they want. And in that price point, we see that actually working. But if you're looking at the higher end of our market, which is certainly slower right now, there is not as much of that happening. So this is strategic, lower end of the market. How are we getting value? How are we standing out? So if you have, we've talked about standing out from your neighbor. Well, listing a property $150,000 under your neighbor's house is certainly the kind of attention that maybe a listing agent is looking for right now. It's kind of a bait and switch scenario. It's not one that I entirely love, but it is working. And I know that's frustrating from a buyer standpoint, but this market is definitely more active. So it's really important that you have someone guiding you through that process.
Another thing to point out is just, so in the lower market, it's very active. So if you're selling a home under $500,000 and you're looking to move up into a higher end home, there's really good opportunity out there, because in the higher end homes, those ones aren't selling as quickly. So there's some good opportunity out there if that's your situation right now.
I think people are more encouraged to be able to have those conversations and negotiate, which was not a thing of COVID. Negotiating is our job. It is our skill set. It's what we do every day. It's what we teach our realtors every day, making sure that we are aware of what's happening, why it's happening, and so that they can educate their clients to make sure that we are attacking every opportunity with the best skill set that we can bring to the table.
So as a buyer or a seller, how do we know if we can trust our realtor? How do we know they know what they're doing? And on the flip side, as a realtor, how do we convince our clients to trust us and to show them that we really know what we're doing?
I think that's a good question, and one that we focus on constantly, right? Even this week, we hosted a workshop for our realtors talking about buyer consults, because we don't just open doors. That's one part of our job of the 100 that may be on our table. So we are constantly looking at data. And if you are sitting down with a realtor and you haven't had a consult where you're talking about, what do I want? What don't I want, right? And setting goals and strategies so that you are setting yourself up for success with the right person, and they know exactly what you want and they can vouch for you. So that trust starts from having those consults early and making sure that you have a good working relationship where you know someone's going to vouch for you through every part of the process. We can show you those comparable sales so that you know when you're putting an offer in on this property that you are putting an offer in on what the value of that property is, not what it's listed for. But if it's underlisted, we know exactly what neighborhoods are selling for, what products have sold, what they sold for, and the data that has followed for years and years and years. Homes that are correctly priced and positioned well, obviously those things are selling. And we want to give both sellers and buyers the upper hand in the marketplace. So this month we're launching something very exciting on our website where a client can create an account and they can access sold data, recent sold data throughout Windsor-Essex, which I think is very important to educate and inform clients as to what we're doing. And it helps build that trust, right? So we are the ones navigating and breaking down all of those statistics, but you have access to them too.
I'm really excited for this data to become public because buyers and sellers have been wanting to know what the sold prices are for a very long time. So this is very exciting that this is happening, but sometimes data without any context can be misleading. So it's important that you are still working with a realtor, a trusted realtor, so they can help you interpret that data.
The market is a strange place. We don't know what's going to happen in the coming months. There's good news and bad news so many times throughout one single day today. And we have to kind of ignore that noise and focus on what we know. And what we know is real estate. We know statistics. We know how this market is performing because of the numbers that we can evaluate. So this really gives our agents the upper hand and our clients throughout Windsor-Essex the upper hand to be able to know and move ahead with full confidence that what you're doing is going to lead to success down the road.
The real estate market is constantly changing, but there are opportunities within every real estate market. And I think the key thing is understanding the data, having the right strategy, and working with the right professional to guide you through the process.
If you're looking to become a client and get access to this data, it's very simple. You just need to go to rlpbinder.ca where you can create an account and you can have access to data that's live already right now. And then you can get in touch with one of our trusted realtors to interpret that data.
And the best part about it all is that it's updated all of the time. So if you see a sold sign across the street from your house, you can log into our website and take a look to see what that house has sold for. So as soon as that data is inputted into the system, you will see it live on our website as well.
So thank you for joining us today. We hope March will bring not only some sunshine into our lives, but potentially some more sales. And then we can have something more interesting to talk to you about. So join us next month. Thank you so much for joining.